Why do people make such a big deal about Cusco's membership fee? The whole point of having a membership is to save money. But whenever Kara is involved, saving money seems impossible. Kara always drags me into her shopping plans. She only thinks about what is convenient for her. Even when I clearly refuse, she refuses to accept my answer. Once, she even tried to decide a shopping date without asking me. "So when are we going?" she asked confidently. Before I could reply, my husband Ronald joined the conversation and surprisingly supported her. I was shocked. "What are you thinking? This is Kara we're talking about. She'll definitely make us pay again." Ronald smiled a little and said, "Then maybe it's time we give her a taste of her own medicine." He seemed to have a plan to deal with Kara's behavior if she kept acting selfishly. I wasn't sure about it, but I decided to trust my husband and go along with his idea. By the way, my name is Lahi. My child started kindergarten this year, so I've been busy with school activities and meeting other parents. Thankfully, most of the mothers in the neighborhood are very kind. They often share helpful advice about raising children, and we support each other when needed. I also try to help them whenever I can, and because of that I have good relationships with almost everyone. Almost everyone, except Kara. Kara always asks others for help, but she rarely helps anyone in return. She even calls herself a spoiled princess, and honestly, that description fits her well. For example, when a group of moms plans to go out to eat, Kara suddenly appears and joins us. Normally I wouldn't mind that. But during the meal, she always asks for bites of everyone's food and casually suggests that someone else should pay for her. "Oh, I don't have much money today," she says with an innocent smile. The other moms and I all feel the same way about her, but nobody wants to start an argument. Shopping with her is even worse. Whenever I go shopping, I usually drive my car. Almost every time, Kara appears and asks for a ride. If we were going to the same place, I wouldn't mind. But with Kara, it never ends there. Once we arrive at the store, she suddenly says something like, "Oh no, I was in such a hurry to catch your ride that I forgot my wallet. What should we do? Go back?" I don't want to bother you. Maybe you can pay first and I'll return the money later." Every single time something like this happens, she either forgets her wallet or leaves her credit card at home. Somehow, she always avoids paying. She promises to pay me back later, but that almost never happens. Even when I show her the receipts and remind her several times, she simply says, "I'll pay you later, maybe on payday." Once she even complained, "You're really strict when it comes to money." Eventually, I even contacted her husband about it. He is actually a decent man. Whenever he hears about the situation, he apologizes and pays me back. But Kara herself never seems to feel sorry. Some people might think a few small shopping expenses aren't a big deal. But when it happens again and again for a whole month, the money adds up to a lot. What made it worse was the stress. Every time we went shopping, I had to worry about how to get my money back. I wished I could just refuse her requests from the beginning. But Kara had a clever way of making it difficult for me. She used our children. Our kids are good friends, and sometimes she would let them make plans together before asking me about shopping. When my son was excited about seeing his friend, it became very hard for me to say no. I couldn't tell my child not to be friends with someone. Other moms understood my situation and often said they felt sorry for me. But it was clear that they also preferred to keep their distance from Kara. One friend suggested, "You should just say no more firmly." I finally talked to my husband about everything. But since he had never seen Kara's behavior himself, he didn't take it very seriously. "Kids are kids, and parents are parents," he said. "You just need to be more confident and say no." But one day, something happened that changed his mind. That evening, my husband came home looking completely exhausted. I asked him if something had happened at work. Instead, he told me that he had run into Kara at a traffic light during his drive home. She suddenly walked up to his car and said, "Oh, you're Lahi's husband. Perfect timing. Can you give me a ride to the station?" Before he could even answer, she stepped onto the road and repeatedly tried to open the passenger door. When he refused, she shouted loudly, calling his name and trying to stop him from leaving. "I couldn't believe how loudly she was yelling in the middle of the street," my husband said. I sighed and replied, "See? That's exactly what I've been telling you. Kara is a lot to deal with." He nodded tiredly. "After that," he continued, "she even asked me for money for the train fare." Because of the traffic lights on his route, he couldn't easily escape her. In the end, he had to give her a ride. After dropping her off, he realized she probably didn't even have enough money for a train ticket. My husband looked completely drained. I seriously don't understand what she's thinking, he said. Now he finally understood why I had been complaining for so long. Then one day, Kara came to me again with another idea. Hey Lahi, I've been wanting to go to Costco, she said. Really? I replied carefully. Let's go together. It's cheap and the deals are great. I was confused. Wait, you go there often, don't you? No, she said. I'm not a member. Even though she wasn't a member, she seemed to know a lot about Costco and kept recommending different products. My family actually had a membership through my husband, and we sometimes used it to buy things in bulk. But that didn't mean I wanted to take Kara shopping with me. While talking, Kara suddenly looked inside my wallet and asked, Let's go. You're a member, right? I'm not, I replied. Oh, then your husband is. That works too, she said casually. And we can take the car. I looked at her, confused. How do you know about my husband's car? Oh, I rode in it the other day, she answered. I saw Costco shopping bags inside. Hearing that made me frown. I tried to warn her. You know that if you're not a member, you can't pay at Costco, right? So you'll need to handle the payment at the cashier. She shrugged and said, It's fine. I'll just pay you back later. I couldn't help replying, You almost never pay me back when you say that. It'll be different this time, she said casually. Then, just like always, she turned to my son and asked, Do you want to go shopping together? My son happily replied, Sure. Then Kara added, Great. Then my husband can watch the kids. Annoyed, I said, Wait, I never said we were going. But we're going, right? Kara insisted. She refused to give up. Oh, come on, it's fine. Costco has a membership fee, and it would really help me if we went together. I was already tired of how she only thought about herself. I kept refusing. I even told her not to involve my child when making plans, but she didn't care. She acted as if my opinion didn't matter. Soon she started planning the trip like it was already decided. Then Kara suddenly turned to my husband. Oh, Lahi's husband. We were just talking about going to Costco together. To my shock, my husband replied casually, Oh sure, that's fine. When should we go? I couldn't believe what I had just heard. Kara immediately rushed over to him and happily made plans to go to Costco the following weekend. After she finally left, I lightly hit my husband on the back. What were you thinking? I complained. That's Kara we're talking about. He shrugged. I know. But she said she would bring her own money, didn't she? That's obviously a lie. I replied. We'll end up paying for everything again. That's when Ronald smiled. Don't worry, he said. I'm planning to give her a taste of her own medicine. He explained his idea to me. At first I was worried, but when I heard the plan, I couldn't stop laughing. It was a bold move, but it would only work if Kara behaved the way she usually did. And if it made her stop bothering us in the future, that would be even better. So I agreed to go along with my husband's plan. Finally, the day of the Costco trip arrived. Kara was already in a cheerful mood early in the morning. She happily got into our car as if everything was perfectly normal. Before we left, she asked, Did everyone remember everything? I couldn't help asking, Did you bring your wallet? It would be a problem if you forgot it. Kara laughed. Aren't you the one who forgets things sometimes? Don't worry, don't worry. Her answer annoyed me, but Ronald just smiled politely and kept driving. Normally, I would have asked her to show her wallet just to be sure. But remembering my husband's plan, I stayed quiet. Kara seemed very familiar with how Costco worked. She probably knew that only a member could pay at the register. That meant Ronald would have to pay first. Then she could do what she always did, claim she forgot her wallet and promise to pay later. Her intentions were obvious, and Ronald seemed to understand that perfectly. When we arrived at the store, Kara became even more excited. She quickly grabbed a shopping cart and began filling it with items. The store had so many choices that it was hard to decide what to buy, but that didn't stop her. She happily threw product after product into the cart. To avoid confusion later, I suggested, Let's use separate carts so our items don't get mixed up. Sure, she replied casually, continuing to load her cart without hesitation. Ronald leaned close and quietly whispered to me, She isn't even looking at the prices. I couldn't help smiling. Just like always, Kara didn't seem to think she would actually be the one paying. After some time, she looked at my cart. Wait, Lahi, that's all you're buying? Yes, I said. I still have plenty of supplies at home. I can come back another time. Oh, I see, Kara replied. Then make sure to invite me next time too. Even though I hadn't invited her this time either, I decided not to argue. Soon we lined up at the checkout. While Ronald looked at the busy lines, Kara suddenly opened her small purse and began searching inside it. Just as I expected, she made a surprised face. Oh no. I'm so sorry. I think I forgot my wallet. I looked at her calmly. But you said in the car that everything was fine, didn't you? Kara apologized again. I'm really sorry. Can I just pay you back later? Her cart had far more items than ours. It looked like she had picked around $200 or $300 worth of things. But she didn't seem worried at all. It was obvious she had never planned to pay. Ronald and I quietly exchanged glances. Then I said, "Oh right, sorry. I need to take a call from my parents." I left my cart with Ronald and stepped out of the line. Instead of leaving the store, I hid behind some nearby shelves so I could watch what was happening. Kara was chatting happily with Ronald as if nothing was wrong. "Well, it's a shame I forgot my wallet," she said. "But luckily I have good friends who can cover for me." Then Ronald suddenly said, "Oh, I forgot to grab something. Can you hold my place in line while I go get it?" Kara hesitated for a moment but finally said, "Fine, hurry back." As soon as Ronald left the line, he walked over to me. It was Sunday morning, the busiest time at Costco. The store was packed with people. Now Kara was standing alone in line with a full cart of groceries. What could she possibly do now? She couldn't exactly tell the cashier that she wasn't buying anything. Ronald and I shared a quiet smile behind the shelves. Then we walked to the opposite side of the store and joined a different checkout line. From there, we watched Kara from a distance. She was still waiting patiently in line, probably expecting us to return at any moment. Meanwhile, the store was getting even more crowded as people rushed in to buy lunch supplies. Kara had no idea where we were. We calmly paid for our own items and left the store before she realized what had happened. Once we were in the car, we waited for a little while. Then I checked my phone. As expected, there was a message from Kara. "Hey, are you still coming back? Don't leave me waiting like this." I couldn't believe she was still standing in line without her wallet. Ronald laughed and said, "Maybe we should just tell her the truth and ask her to come back to the car." I nodded. Apparently, she was still waiting in line, which made us laugh even more. But I started wondering, what was she planning to do when she finally reached the cashier and realized she couldn't pay for all those items? Thinking about it, Kara didn't even have enough money to pay for all the things in her cart. With that in mind, we sent her a message saying that we had already finished paying and were back in the car. Just as expected, my phone rang almost immediately. It was Kara. "Hey, what are you doing?" she shouted angrily. "I'm not done shopping yet." "If you don't have your wallet, you shouldn't be shopping in the first place," I replied calmly. "Stop joking," she yelled. "Come back right now and pay for my things." But this time, Ronald and I were firm. "We're not paying." Kara refused to accept it. "You brought me here, so you have to pay," she insisted. In the end, she even said she wouldn't go home unless we paid for her groceries. That only made Ronald more annoyed. "Well, if she doesn't want to come back to the car, there's nothing we can do," he said. Then he started the car. I asked him, "But how will she get home?" Ronald shrugged and laughed. "She'll figure it out. If she has to, she'll probably force someone else to give her a ride." He still hadn't forgotten the time she forced him to drive her to the train station. Meanwhile, I kept texting Kara and told her clearly that we would leave if she didn't come back to the car. But she refused to listen. Maybe it was a bit harsh to leave her behind, but after everything she had done, I didn't know what else to do. "She'll find a way home," I thought as we drove away. The next day, we found out that Kara had managed to get home by taking the bus. My husband laughed when he heard about it. "So she did have a wallet after all," he joked. But not long after that, Kara stormed up to our house, furious. "You left me alone at the store," she shouted. "That was so mean." I crossed my arms and replied calmly, "Well, it's your fault for going shopping without bringing money." "So you just abandoned me," she yelled. "That's terrible. You could have just paid for my things." I was finally fed up. "Do you even realize how many times you've made us pay for you?" I said. "You're always doing this." But Kara kept shouting. She complained that I was selfish for not spending my money on her. Then she even demanded compensation for her emotional stress. She was making such a scene outside our house that a neighbor stopped to see what was happening. "What's going on here?" asked Catherine, one of the other moms in the neighborhood. The moment Kara saw her, she suddenly looked smug. It seemed like she wanted to spread the story and make me look bad. "He promised to take me shopping," Kara said dramatically. "Then she abandoned me at the store." Catherine looked confused. "You mean you pressured her into taking you?" she asked. No, it wasn't like that," Kara quickly replied. "He invited me." Catherine raised an eyebrow. Why would she invite someone who always forgets her wallet and makes others pay for everything? Her words completely exposed the truth. Kara suddenly fell silent. The truth was, I had already talked to Catherine the day before. I told her what happened and asked for advice, just in case Kara tried to twist the story. Now Kara stood there with a bright red face, unable to say anything. Catherine gently told her that what she did was wrong. After that, Kara quickly left, clearly embarrassed. Catherine later told me, "You handled that situation really well." She looked a little amused too. And just as I expected, the story quickly spread around the neighborhood. Because of Catherine, everyone soon heard about Kara's behavior. Kara tried to tell her own version of the story, but it didn't work. In fact, she ended up spreading even more rumors about herself. Most people didn't support her at all. Instead, they told her that she deserved what happened. After that, many neighbors started keeping their distance from her. Even so, Kara continued blaming me for everything. But eventually, it seemed her husband scolded her very seriously. After that, whenever she saw me outside, she quickly turned around and walked the other way. Meanwhile, the other parents in the neighborhood actually praised me for finally standing up to her. For a long time, Kara's behavior had made things uncomfortable between everyone. But strangely, this incident brought the rest of us closer together. Now the other moms and I sometimes go shopping together. Of course, everyone pays for their own things. And because of that, we've built a fair and balanced friendship where everyone gives and takes equally.